Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to the Wrestle Hunks Podcast, a podcast where three hunks get together and discuss some of the very worst things you can find on the WWE Network, and the only podcast that has legit backstage heat with Beth Phoenix. I'm your host, the Mordecai of microphone, Brandon Marlow, and as always, I'm joined by the hunkiest hunk, Brody Price.
If you had said to me after we recorded episode 1 that in 9 weeks we'd have a 10th episode, I would have said, yeah, you're probably right, because that's about the time after, that's probably when we would do it, yeah.
That's the time after the 9th.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Hey, if you said 9 weeks ago that our podcast would be on the Daily Smark, I wouldn't believe you.
Hey man, big things.
But here we are.
Big things are happening.
And they contacted us. We're making money moves. We didn't have to contact them.
We don't need Titus Worldwide. We can do it on our own.
It's just like we had to contact Blue Chew, so we're not at that level yet. But
I hope they get back to us.
I'm also joined by the self-proclaimed IMDb of wrestling, Nathan Marlow. But I think I'm going to remove the self-proclaimed part because you've been doing maths and all sorts of research this week. So I think you're officially the IMDb.
We might have to change that to also the Undertaker entrance of podcasting.
The Undertaker.
Considering how long it's taken us to record this because of me.
Hey, you know what they say?
Fair.
Anticipation makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly right.
I don't think that's the same, but
Shout out to our Kuwait and Ukraine listeners.
hey, big shout out. I was looking at the geography before, and Podbean breaks it down by like state in America. We have like 20 people listening in California.
Good for them.
All the other states are like random, and then California's got like a bunch of downloads. So shout out to
You're
California.
not even from Southern California.
But yeah, shout out to Kuwait. Whoever's listening in Kuwait, they're the GOAT. That in Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go there one day for a Q&A.
Live podcast in front of just one guy.
I hope he buys the ticket. I don't want to have to give the ticket away.
Yeah, that'd be sad. We have to comp the one ticket to our show.
He's busy that weekend. The guy listens.
So our test episode from last week, covering his entire career in the WWE, got a pretty big response. It's actually currently the fourth most. I can't speak.
Jesus, what's going on?
Well up, pal.
I mean, it's not as bad as my intro to last week. So
That was my favourite intro.
as I was saying, it's currently the fourth most listened to episode after just 1 week of being live, and it's actually the most viewed video on our YouTube channel somehow. I didn't think that many people would be looking for test videos, but apparently so. Although YouTube did do a screw job on us with our John Cena episode. It had a ridiculous amount of views on the first day, and then YouTube stole them.
Now it's saying we're 20.
Somehow we lost like 60 views.
It was literally like 60 views within the first, I want to say, 2 hours. Because you messaged me on the day, Pricey, and you're like, why does this have so many views?
Yeah, because it was like, hours afterwards. I'm like, I'll go check the Photoshop out that you do a great job on. And I had a look, and it was so many views. I'm like, oh, this is usually we get one in the first hour. So yeah, YouTube's fucked us over.
It was so confusing. It was like, oh, it's our most viewed video in literally hours. We made the big time, and then YouTube's like, nah, you got to pay your dues. You got your job a bit more.
I went and bought a new car after I saw those, and then they fucked us over.
You thought you had that podcast money, and then broken your heart.
I don't know what to do. If anyone could just send me some money so I can help pay for my car.
Well, to help out with the money, the Wrestle Hunks Podcast again has a sponsor. But this week it is brought to you by Hulk Hogan's Pasta Mania. And as always, our expert, Nathan Marlow, is going to tell you a little bit more about it.
You know what we're talking about, brother. We're talking about Hulk Hogan's Pasta Mania, brother. And you know my good brother Santino Marella loves his pasta. And he can vouch for it, dude.
Oh yes, I am Santino. And I love the WrestleMania pasty. Cozy.
Buy some macaroni and cheese now. September 4th, 1995, brother.
Was that a Santino impression or a Santino impression?
Santino.
Oh,
Is it good?
I thought it was Santino.
I thought it was
You guys
Santino. You said Santino, but then you went real high pitched with it, so it might be a Santino.
I worked hard on that. I thought would have got a better response.
That
That was brilliant.
That was incredible. I still like. Is that a real thing? Past the Mania?
Yeah, it lasted for a year. There's literally a WCW episode about it.
Wow. I think we need to review that then.
Yeah, we definitely do.
The grand opening, which was September 4th, 1995. Get down.
Speaking of weird ass Hulk Hogan shit, you know how he had that cartoon?
No.
Oh, he had a cartoon in like the 80s, and they had it on the network, and they took it off when he was racist. I hope they bring that back now that he came back at Crown Jewel.
Apparently he's not racist now because he's back.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder what all the black superstars thought, like New Day, Lashley, Leo Rush.
Lashley.
They should have got Leo Rush to cut a promo on Hulk Hogan.
I want to see Leo Rush just go over Hogan. I just want to see him come out and just fucking hit him with the final hour. I think that's what it's called.
Did either of you watch Hulk Hogan's thing at Crown Jewel? Because I skipped right past that.
No, I barely watched any of Crown Jewel.
I'm not watching Crown Jewel.
Hashtag cancel Crown Jewel.
Yep.
I'm just glad we're past all that shit, to be honest.
Hey, until next year when we have another Saudi event, there's still 9 more years of Saudi events to go.
And I won't watch it again.
Yeah, it's... Come on, man. We're better than this.
Why couldn't the Victorian government have ordered a 10-year deal? That would have been a lot better.
Oh, could you
I
imagine?
don't think we've killed any journalists lately.
Not from memory. Maybe that's what we need to do. Brandon, technically you're a journalist, so...
I'll take the hit. If someone wants to kill me and then dismember me for the sake of WWE coming back here, then I'll do it.
Nathan and I don't have a lot of money combined, but we could give WWE all we have if they want. It's not a lot.
Exactly.
Just sell your soul to them.
It's worth a lot, man. Bart did it.
So this week on the podcast, we are reviewing Santino's Royal Rumble Lottery Spectacular. And if you haven't ever heard of that, well, then join the club, because I don't think any of us had ever heard of it before we set out to make this podcast. We're doing it because Pricey thought it was a good idea to rig the poll and get the absolute worst thing on the WWE Network a chance to be reviewed, and it actually won somehow. Despite us rigging the poll, Santino almost lost. He took out the win with 38% of the vote, but Beast in the East was sharp on its heels with 32%. Starrcade 2000 and Insurrection 2003 weren't much competition though, grabbing just 19% and 13% of the vote. Before Beast in the East made a little comeback though, people were going along with the joke. Santino had like a 40-odd% like lead.
Yeah, and shout out to @Mela_takeover. She that we got a little tweet to Santino from them, and I it doesn't feel like a win. I said last week I wanted a win, but it doesn't feel like I really won this. It feels like we all stitched everyone up and we wanted
Yeah, but
to...
fuck Santino for not replying.
Yeah, no, I was a little disappointed that Santino didn't reply.
Or give it a like or something.
He could have done a really funny intro for the show.
He's got
He
that
He
just did.
way too money, so he's just too much of a hotshot. Him and Larry
He
the
just
Cable
did.
Guy.
He just did the past the man for you guys.
Yeah, but that was pre-recorded. He was doing that for Hogan, not for us.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we have to get in contact to Hogan because Hogan will do it for us.
I still think that this win counts though, because what are the odds of Santino's Royal Rumble Lottery Spectacular? Like, I thought people were not going to vote for that at all.
People probably just don't give a shit. They're like, whatever. They're trying to make a joke. Let's just go on.
Think about the time when I chucked up Slam City and I thought, come on, this is they're gonna get this. It's funny. We'll review this, and then it got fuck all. And then some dude said, "Why is Slam City in this poll?"
Well, the guy he obviously didn't really read like our bio for the podcast.
Or he doesn't listen.
He obviously doesn't listen.
He's a bad fan.
That's the whole point. Is network, stuff on the network. It's not just wrestling.
But yeah, I was happy that it held on from Beast in the East. My first thought, like when we threw up Beast in the East as like the wild card, was that is definitely going to end up winning. I knew Starrcade wasn't going to win because nobody on the fucking internet cares about WCW, and it breaks my heart.
That's because that's old, man. No one gives a shit about that anymore.
It's yesterday's news. It doesn't have Goldberg WWE run in it, so it can fuck off.
That's the most important thing in wrestling Twitter, I think. what I can tell.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, I can't believe our podcast has peaked at episode 10. We're never going to cover anything better than this. Maybe when we cover Crazy Stupid Love Show?
Oh, yes.
That one almost got the nod from me last week when I was looking at the original specials.
Did it autoplay for either of you after you finished the lottery spectacular?
No, I closed down the tab as soon as I could.
It did the second time.
The second time. I also got to ask, I know the answer to this, but had either of you seen this WWE Network special before watching it for this?
I hadn't, but I remember vaguely hearing about it being advertised around the time of the Rumble in 2015. But I didn't waste my time.
What about you, Nat?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I don't even remember about hearing of this at all. This was probably right around the time where I first got the network as well, and I was just watching everything on there. So I'm surprised I didn't just go like, oh yeah, no, I'll tune in for Santino playing with the fucking lottery tumbler.
Too busy watching Legends House, weren't you?
Believe it or not, I've never seen an episode of Legends House, and I need to change that based on the episode of Storytime with Mean Gene.
No one fucking votes for it. It's just you dirty dogs.
So let's get into the background, what little of it there is for this. This special was aired on the network on January 20, 2015, and on this date in history, Edgar Froese, I'm going to say that's how you say his last name, a German musician from the band Tangerine Dream, dies at 70.
That's a sick name, Tangerine Dream. That's Velveteen's cousin, isn't it?
I was going to say Tangerine Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Do you reckon Edgar's son has a band now and it's called Tangerine Nightmare?
Yeah, that's actually very, obviously not as over. But...
And then his other son that nobody really connects to him is Tangerine Dust. So in other news, the top movie at the box office on this day was American Sniper, and the top song on the charts was Uptown Funk. So, a couple of good selections there.
Yeah.
American Sniper's good.
I've never seen American Sniper.
You should watch it.
Yeah, the only Bradley Cooper movies I've seen is The Hangover and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uptown Funk can suck a fat one, to be honest.
Jesus.
You weren't a fan of it the year it was used for the All-Star game?
No, because I watched the 3 days of All-Star events, and it just fucking played for every ad break, and I was done by the first day.
Yeah, they really drove it into the ground, and that was a while after this, so...
Drained it.
You couldn't escape it.
I know. Me and Bruno Mars were good pals, but that song sucks.
So there isn't a whole lot of background information or build-up to talk about when it comes to Santino's Royal Rumble Lottery Spectacular, which I'm sure comes as a big shock to most of us. The week before on Main Event, it was announced that the following week there would be no episode of Main Event on the network. This was due to contractual issues, and as a response, the WWE announced Santino's Royal Rumble Lottery Spectacular. A lot of people started speculating about what this event would be exactly, because they didn't give precise details about what this special would be, and some of the less reputable dirt sheets had started reporting that it would literally be the Royal Rumble Lottery with each superstar getting their entry number, kind of like they used to do at the older Royal Rumble pay-per-views. However, as Cageside Seats stated in their post, there's been some speculation that participants in this year's Royal Rumble will pick their entry number from a tumbler as part of the special, but WWE hasn't even hinted as much in the promotion for the show. If that was going to be the case, you would think it would be mentioned. So WWE.com described the show as a unique look back at the Royal Rumble's most entertaining moments, and also just mentioning that Santino was unfortunately forced to retire from in-ring competition on July 6th of the previous year due to a neck injury, and he would make sporadic appearances on WWE programming, including this, which leads us to the show. And I don't know, did you guys have any expectations going into this?
Not really. That there with the participants picking their numbers out, I don't think that's really possible, because every year you sort of have a couple surprise entries in that. So I guess, did they mean just a handful of people would get their numbers and just have
that's probably what they meant.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But You know, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I got very early on. I sort of knew what we were going to get. Unfortunately.
What about you, Nat?
I thought this was going to have more bits in it, but it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I thought there would be a lot more like skits and shit with Santino than there was. Like the stuff that he does later on with Kane is kind of what I thought would be mostly throughout it. I wasn't expecting it to be a more expanded version of the by the numbers type vignette thing that they always play now. So that was a little disappointing when I found that out. For the show itself, it is introduced by a Renee Young voiceover, I assume. She kind of sounds different here, but it sounds like Renee Young, so I'm saying it's Renee Young. And we kick it off with Santino in the general manager's office type setup that they have on Raw and SmackDown. He's in a suit and he's standing next to the Royal Rumble lottery tumbler. And Santino says he's going to randomly pull out numbers and tell you the special facts about them. But before we get that, we get a refresher on what the fuck the Royal Rumble is. And we also get a recap of Santino almost winning the Royal Rumble when he was in the final two with Alberto Del Rio. And I just wanted to mention here that I got worked so hard when I saw this. I really thought Santino was going to win, and I was going to be real pissed.
No, you were going to be pissed. I was loving this when I saw that. I wanted him to win.
Really?
Yeah, you must have been marked back then, man. I thought Santino, world champion, the Cobra, like he has everything. He's the whole package. So I wanted to see him with the belt.
Now they're working me real hard. I was like, fuck, they're ruining the sanctity of the Royal Rumble if he wins.
I did think initially, I'm like, this is like a big match. Do you really like leave the last two to be like a comedy sort of thing? At the time, I thought that, which is, strange, but fuck it, it's wrestling. Who cares?
Was this the same year where he was in the Elimination Chamber and he almost won as well?
Yeah, the next month he almost beat. Who did he almost beat?
It was Brian, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't believe they were giving Santino such a heavy push at this time. How did he even get in the Elimination Chamber?
Well, I'll tell you a fact about Santino. Do you know on famousbirthdays.com, in the whole world, he's ranked number 1 for the first name with Santino.
Wow.
And born in Mississauga, Canada, he's ranked number 9th.
It's funny that you mention that because...
This is by mentions and stuff, I think.
Because WWE has been working me hard for about fucking 15 years. I did not know Santino was just a Canadian dude. Like, did you either of you know
Santino.
that? Like, he's not Italian.
No.
He was born in Canada. He's a Canadian.
I had no idea.
I just assumed he was an Italian wrestler, and then, he's the
18th wrestler born in Canada. Number 18th.
That's not too bad. There's a lot of Canadian wrestlers that have gone on to do big things, so...
They threw Chuck Palumbo into the FBI, even though he's from America.
What are you talking about?
They should have brought back the FBI for Santino.
Nunzio couldn't strap Santino's boots, man.
He couldn't put on his his Cobra fucking sock thing.
Can I mention, how the fuck did he get that over? How was that possible?
He missed the sock, it was over.
I know, but Mick Foley's like a world champion.
Mick Foley was a main eventer, and Santino was just a comedy dude.
Santino nearly won the Royal Rumble, nearly won Elimination Chamber.
Hey, to be fair, he was Intercontinental Champion in his first match, so...
Yeah,
he beat Drew McIntyre.
Oh yeah, but who hasn't beaten Drew McIntyre?
Ooh.
And Hornswoggle and Jinder Mahal playing the flute.
That's a career highlight for him, I would have thought.
So we then get shown some of the unique ways that superstars have avoided elimination here, and I just jotted down here that the way that he pronounces John Cena's name is John Cena, which
is
I like. There wasn't enough mispronunciations from Santino in this, I think.
He used to do them a lot, but in this special, he doesn't really do them. Unfortunately.
He's a little bit too serious here.
Yeah, he wants a job.
He's become
retired.
Corporate Santino. But Santino pulls out the very first number, and it's the number 12. And 12 is important because Roman Reigns eliminated 12 people in the 2014 Royal Rumble. And can you guys believe that people genuinely wanted Roman to win this Royal Rumble, or as Nat put here, a Noman?
Quickly, we haven't really mentioned Roman Reigns the last couple of weeks because we had like a test episode that was going to go for 19 hours, so we have to cut down on time.
Yeah, we have to plow through.
So we'll just throw out our prayers to Roman. We want him back.
Thoughts and prayers to Joe.
But it is weird looking back at that Rumble and then just a year later how different everyone's reaction to him winning the Royal Rumble was, which I guess is what you're getting at here. It's kind of weird that how many people just wanted him to win. Whether that's because they thought Batista was getting the win or not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I'll let that go.
I just want to say, Nat's defacing the Google Doc here, but I just want to say, I'm pretty sure a lot of Roman, because some of the crowd had started to kind of turn on Roman at this point, but I feel like a big part of it, that him getting cheered here, was because Batista was in the final three and Sheamus was in the final three, so nobody wanted them. Everyone was just going to clearly shit on those two, so...
Like the Shield's cool. We want the guy from the Shield.
It's like, well, Roman's the best of a bad bunch.
At that point, I didn't really... I don't know if I was paying... We were probably in high school still, Brandon. I don't know if I was paying attention to wrestling as much, but I was kind of like... I didn't really recognize them as three different people. I was just like, oh, they're all the Shield guys.
I dropped off following WWE real closely during the Shield's entire run, pretty much.
Yeah, me too. So...
It's because I started uni and I stopped watching Raw all the time, and then I hadn't got the network yet, so I just kind of stopped. And then you convinced me to get the network, and I was back in. I got to see Dancing R-Truth.
That's what we're all here for. But yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So at the time I had no idea. I was just like, oh, he's a Shield guy. That's cool if he wins, but I didn't know much about him at that point.
So after we see a recap of Roman Reigns eliminating damn near half of the entrants in the Royal Rumble, Santino then says, people say that he looks like Roman Reigns because of his lips, and then he kind of does some weird face, and at this point I was just like, what the fuck is this? What is this special? I was baffled. Jumping off this, Renee Young then shows some of the dumbest Royal Rumble moments, like Gilbert, Mr. Socko, and Santino's Cobra fighting, stuff like that. And I just wanted to shout out some more underrated moments here that I'd basically completely forgotten. One of which was CM Punk trying to get the Great Khali to join the Straight Edge Society, which I never knew was a thing that happened, but I'm glad that Renee Young showed me that.
It's not what it says in the Google Doc.
Yes. I never knew that Terry Funk tried to get the Great Khali to join the Straight Edge Society. I didn't know Terry Funk was straight edge.
I'm hardcore. Your mother's a whore.
I was going to try and do a Terry Funk impression, but you've just knocked it out of the park. I'm not even going to attempt it. That's so good.
How is Terry Funk still alive? Is the real question.
Oh, man.
He does matches, too.
Yeah.
He had a match with...
He's 74, Jesus.
Not that long ago.
Did he do the fireball spot? Was that them too?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who took it? Was it King or him? It's probably him.
I think it was him.
He's fucked. How does he do it?
Shout out to Terry Funk. He's been married twice. He was married to Vicky Ann Weaver from 1965 to 1975. And then he just got married to her again in 1991.
This is really weird that you guys have brought up Terry Funk.
16 years in the making.
It's my chance to bring up... I sent you guys the link to that Being the Elite. The start. I don't remember what episode it was, but it was the start of the episode, and Flip's talking about how he's not booked for All In.
Oh yeah.
And Matt's dressed up as Terry Funk. I can't remember what special it's from. But it's some guy that used to wrestle, and Terry's asking him to come to the show that he and Brett are main eventing. Did you guys not fucking pop for that? Because I thought it was hilarious.
I don't think I got the reference. I kind of found it funny because it was the way that they acted during it was funny, but I don't think I really got the reference.
I sent you the link to the other thing that actually had Terry Funk in it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but Matt's just everything he does is so spot on to Terry Funk. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
So apparently Nat has some trivia here, but have you already gone through that trivia?
No, I've got a little quiz game for you guys.
Wow.
Just to break it up, because this is not gonna. We haven't got much content to cover. All right. First up, what is Santino's longest singles match?
Ooh.
And how long, if you would like?
Elimination Chamber, but
How long would you say as well?
Do we have to guess the opponent? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, opponent and match time.
Jeez, that's a good question. It's
I'm
not-
gonna jump in here with a quick early guess. I'm gonna say it was against Umaga. Is that correct?
I'm gonna wait for Pricey's answer.
Oh,
It makes sense.
I was thinking of Margaret as well, but I'm gonna throw out Wade Barrett instead.
And what time do you guys think?
Eight
I'm gonna say
minutes?
13 minutes and 25 seconds.
But you're both wrong. It's Alberto Del Rio. He
Wow.
defeated Santino Marella by pinfall in 50 minutes.
What?
And I'm gonna say that I betcha that is a segment on Raw where he's run backstage or something, and they've come out and they've pinned him.
I'm gonna look this
Yeah,
up. Wow.
I found it on Pro Wrestling Database or whatever. I was like, I don't know if that's right, but
There's no way we were gonna guess 50 minutes. Jeez, that almost went to a 60-minute Broadway.
exactly right.
Oh, it's Santino, workhorse.
Let me see if I can find this.
I can start my next question if you'd like.
I would appreciate that.
Okay. The famous couple of Santino and Maria were famously they became a bit agitated at each other. This was because Maria went on a date with someone. Who was it?
John Cena?
Oh, I can't remember this.
It was a game show. It was on the game show skits with William Regal.
I'm gonna get this because I read this on his Wikipedia today. It was with Ron Simmons.
Ding ding ding.
What the fuck?
I read too much about his career today.
Oh shit! So you're probably gonna get the next two then.
You never know.
Okay. Who slapped Santino Marella and got fired for it? And
I've got
bonus
this.
bonus points. What did he eat afterwards?
Pricey, you can guess this because I actually know who it is.
Who slapped him and got fired for it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shit. Beth Phoenix? No?
No, it's
It's,
a backstage figure who's an old man,
Oh,
just a bit cranky,
Cranky, Johnny Ace?
and he eats food, sometimes double.
Oh, Jim Cornette?
Correct.
Double cheese, motherfucker.
What was
I
Jim Cornette?
never knew that Cornette
backstage?
got fired from booking OVW for that.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about OVW.
Yeah, this is when Santino was down in OVW, and he slapped Santino because he did a segment with the Boogeyman, and Santino was supposed to act scared. Instead, he corpsed and he started laughing, and Corny was not happy about that, so he slapped him.
Weren't they like in an argument at like a convention or something like in the last year? Was that them two, Santino and Cornette?
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, I feel like
I've got a last question here. Brandon will probably get it again, but okay. Santino Marella had an MMA career. What was the result of his only match?
TKO.
And did he win or lose?
He
I'm
lost.
gonna say he lost, and he was no. I'm gonna say he won, and he submitted them.
He lost by knockout in 26 seconds.
Oh, TKO.
Is that shorter or
knockout, same
longer
shit.
than CM Punk getting beaten in his first fight?
I was in some random promotion in Japan. The greatest common multiple. And that's all the trivia I have for today, boys.
I enjoyed that. I think we need more trivia on the podcast, to be honest. People can play along as they're listening.
Okay, I've tracked down the exact Raw that apparently this 50-minute match happened in,
Yep.
and WWE have posted a clip of it.
Please tell me it was a Falls Count Anywhere match.
I
I have a feeling it was.
don't think it's a 50-minute match.
But it says 50 minutes.
It's got to be a typo because I'm
It's gotta
seeing it
be
here.
like
I'm pretty sure I
5.
just watched the whole match.
But his longest singles match would not be 5 minutes.
No, but they might have just, I don't know, they probably just fucked it up.
Yeah,
Looking back on their
Pro
stats or
Fight Database has a lot of things that are fucked up there. Like when we had our SmackDown Halloween episode and it said Crash Holly and Billy Kidman had a tag match on that card, that never happened.
Just working us.
But apparently on that Raw, the dark main event was Cena defeating John Laurinaitis, Tensai, and The Big Show in a handicap match.
Fuck,
Jeez.
what a main event. Main event in the arena.
So is that all your trivia questions, Nat?
It is.
I like that trivia. I reckon we should incorporate Nat's... We've got to give it a wacky name, but Nat's trivia when we have an episode like this. I rate it.
Alright, I'll try and come up with a name.
You got more homework to do now, Nat.
That's easy. That's bloody easy stuff. I don't even watch the things you give me anymore. I just pretend.
So Santino picks the next number out of the lottery tumbler, and it's number 3. Santino says it's for Stone Cold because he can drink 3 beers at one time, and also because he's won the Rumble 3 times. All I had to say about this was I feel like Roman is going to equal this eventually. I'm pretty sure if he does come back from his battle with leukemia and is able to wrestle again, I feel like he's probably going to win the Rumble straight away.
He'll win every title.
I would love to see, because obviously if he beats it and comes back, I would like to see that, like a return at the Rumble. There's no one to be expecting it. I'd be all for that. That'd pop me.
His pop would be John Cena in Madison Square Garden in that Rumble type.
I reckon it'd be better. I reckon it'd be bigger.
Especially if they manage to keep it under wraps that he's like able to come back.
Yeah, that'd be huge. I hope they do. I love a good surprise. So hopefully they do.
Like if I was WWE, I'd put it out like, oh yeah, he's beaten it, but he can't come back, or like he can't come back for at least like another year or something.
Yeah, he's still got stuff to do. He's not ready yet.
Just swerve us all.
Just work us, man. That's why I'm here. I just want to be worked.
But for the number 3, they also mentioned that 3 is significant for Mick Foley entering the 1998 Royal Rumble match as the 3 Faces of Foley. Santino then mentions that there have been other back-to-back winners like Stone Cold. They include Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. I don't understand that question.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
With the mention of Hulk Hogan here, I wanted to just ask, how was Hogan the biggest star in the wrestling business when he looked like an old, overcooked hot dog?
He looks shit.
Like
it's bizarre. my notes are the shits because I don't know. I can't remember what was in what order, but I had something here like, because they showed like what the fuck is that noise? By the way?
What are you doing?
What's that?
Who is it? Who is that?
That's not me, is it?
I think it might be you now.
It's not me.
Fuck me, man. What the fuck is that?
Has someone got headphones that they're breathing into?
Nah.
Let me mute myself.
It's 100% that. It's 100% that.
One sec. See if I can fix it.
I thought Nat was rubbing the microphone like a
No,
fucking
I'm not. Is it gone now?
Yeah, it's gone.
I just unplugged my iPhone, see if that worked.
Oh, for all the perverts to listen up with headphones, they fucking love you. I just had here, 1990, the Royal Rumble looks the shits. Like the wrestling in ring just looks so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then they showed 91 after, and that's not a whole lot better either.
But saying that, how smooth did some of Hogan's eliminations look? Like they fall out of the ring like nothing.
He barely touches.
But nowadays, every fucking elimination gets botched.
You know what's one of the worst eliminations though? The fucking bushwhacker one. It's
not great.
It's the
Here
way that
comes
it's
bushwhacker
executed.
Luke.
Not great. I actually had a couple notes here for these Rumbles that they show here. Shane McMahon is a referee during the 91 Rumble. I don't know if anyone noticed that. He gets a little quick cameo on screen during this highlights package.
I did not see
know
that.
Yeah, he was there. So Shane, the best wrestler in the entire world, McMahon, he was started off as a referee. So greatness can come from anywhere.
Paid his dues.
I pissed myself watching that, like seeing him win. I just thought, of course, like You could not make a World Cup mean less than having 8 Americans in it and then having Shane McMahon win without injury. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
As someone who watched Crown Jewel delayed but had the finish of the World Cup spoiled, I was a very confused man watching the entire World Cup and being like, just waiting for Shane to be put in. Because I know that Cena got taken out, and I hadn't watched Raw or SmackDown this week, so I'm like, oh, Shane puts himself in for Cena or whatever. And then that didn't happen. I was like, oh, okay, how's this going to happen? It's at the expense of The Miz. The Miz never gets injured. He got injured.
The Miz doesn't get the respect he deserves.
He really doesn't.
Yeah, but what was your favourite Hulk Hogan and Lanky Kazarian moment? I feel like Brandon might not understand this, but Pricey understands this.
Do you mean Dopey and Lanky?
Ah, no. Oh no, I used to call him we used to call him Bogan as well.
No, that was a different guy that we called Bogan.
That was the third dude, man.
Aren't they all the same?
He was the third man.
Haven't their lives all turned out the same?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
I hope they never listen, but they won't.
I appreciate
They won't
that
listen.
you deleted that off the Google Doc and shit.
There's no evidence.
The moments I had with him, I probably can't share on air. To be honest, I'll keep it at that.
I also mentioned here that the 95 Rumble finish is still one of the all-time greats, even all these years later, and that ties into the next little segment that we get shown here, which is the craziest finishes to Royal Rumble matches, and we get shown stuff like the draw between Luger and Bret Hart, and also the botched finish between Cena and Batista. And I just wanted to ask you boys, what's your favourite Royal Rumble finish, if you're able to narrow it down to one or maybe a couple?
I had I did my research. I read the Google Doc before, and this is the question I was referring to when I was talking to you guys. 07, Michaels and Taker. Is that yours, Nat?
No,
Oh, good.
I've decided it's not that one now.
Oh, cool. Just pretty iconic. Like two of the best. It was like a little precursor to their matches that they have at Mania and their terrible Crown Jewel tag match that I didn't watch. Yeah, I thought that one was pretty special. Just watching that as a kid. And when you just mentioned that Batista and Cena one, I didn't know it was a botch until like a few years ago.
Neither did I.
Because like I remember seeing the Luger Bret Hart one, and I'm like, oh, they're probably just like bringing back that classic idea of a draw, and like they were both like coming up. They're both like these two new superstars. I thought it was like a way to sort of get them both over, but I guess I was wrong. I also didn't know Vince. What did he do? Terry's quad or
Tore
something?
both quads.
I'm a fucking idiot.
I've forgotten, but I feel like both of you guys would know. What was the original finish supposed to be? Like, because doesn't, like, Batista's feet clearly hit the ground first, yeah? So, like, they call it a draw because Batista's supposed to win. What was supposed to happen there?
I don't know.
He was going for a Batista bomb, but Cena went up too much, and
But, I don't know.
Batista
like,
lifted him.
Cena is, like, pretty far away from the ropes. It feels like Batista, like, carries him over there. I don't know. Like, the way
Think
it
about how much
happens...
John Cena weighs, and
Just-
how quick Batista lifted him up.
The way it happens, it looks so organic. Like, if you don't tell someone that was botched, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's supposed to happen. And then Vince comes out and they restart it and then Batista wins.
Just sitting there on the fucking on the mat, like a fucking idiot.
I fucking hate you.
More importantly, I want to know how he got to the back with two torn quads.
Oh, that would have been funny to watch.
Because
Pretty sure he stands at ringside.
he refuses to let people help him when he's, like, injured and shit. So does he, like, just crawl after the thing was done? Or
That would be the most Vince McMahon thing to ever happen.
just wait until all the fans had left and then he'll crawl backstage?
I don't need any help, damn it.
SmackDown versus Crawl.
Personally, I don't know if I can narrow it down to one Rumble finish. I'd say the Michaels one is pretty fucking iconic. 'Cause I feel like it's the first time they really emphasised the both feet hitting the floor.
Well, they definitely
kind of-
emphasise it now.
It made wrestling fans, forever realise that both feet have to hit the floor. It's a good little defining moment. I think also shout out to when Ray won the Rumble. That's iconic just for what's going, like the surrounding stuff, and for the fact that they actually had Ray win a Royal Rumble.
I was about to mention that one if you didn't say it. That was pretty special.
Yeah, I think The ending actually is pretty cool. I like the way that he eliminates Randy, and then combine that with all the other stuff. Him starting from number 2, it's a good combination of things for that finish. I was going to mention one other one, but it's slipped my mind now. So
does Nat have one before I say another one?
I do. It's 2015.
Ooh,
He worked really hard for that. So, he deserved to win that one. So, I was really happy for the big dog.
I'll never forget Brandon cursing at the top of his lungs while we watched that one live. I had 04. Maybe it's just because these were the ones when I was a kid and they were like my guys that won it.
Wait, there was an 04 Rumble?
You mean when Stevie Richards won the Royal Rumble?
Yes, I do. Spike Dudley. No, just Benoit. Like the way Benoit eliminated Big Show, I just thought it was pretty cool.
I mean, how are you going to get that 7 foot, 500-pound man over the ropes? No one's going to be able to do it. He's my pick for the Rumble.
It's impossible for a big man to win Battle Royals, apparently.
Has a big fat horse ever won the Rumble?
Good question.
Did Yokozuna win?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Yokozuna didn't win a Rumble. I'll double check.
I mean, I know one of them at least won the Monsters Mall Battle Royal.
The Monsters Brawl with Abyss.
No, you know the Monsters. I don't know, the ECW one.
They had one.
That was
all the monsters. Remember? Type it up in Google right now.
He did win the Royal Rumble, by the way, in 1993. So a big horse has won the Royal Rumble.
Type up Monsters Battle Royal ECW.
Are you talking about like the zombie? Like when they
No. It's literally all the big horses.
I don't remember this at all, but it sounds.
Search it up right now.
Oh, so it's like Big Daddy V.
I'll stall for you guys. So guys, I'm going to talk with myself about the worst Royal Rumble of all time. I'll take you all the way back to 2017. I was working at the time. I know it feels like forever ago, but I was at work. I didn't work. I watched the whole Royal Rumble, and Randy Orton won. And I'm a Randy Orton mark. I've got to say, it was the worst Royal Rumble of all time. And then we got the worst WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania match of all time. The match with Bray Wyatt. And I don't know if I can stall any longer.
What did you call this match? What did you say it was called?
Monsters
Match.
Monsters
Battle Royal. Monster
Match.
Okay.
Monster Match.
Monster Match.
It's that's a 4-man Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So
I've just clicked it. Yeah.
Who won it? Was it Kane?
I didn't watch it. I just saw it.
I do remember this match now that you said it. Yeah,
We watched it together. We actually
Kane,
did
the Great
watch
Khali,
it.
Mark Henry, and Big Daddy V, and they would use it in they'd use it in a promo package on Fox 8. Wow, somebody recreated it in 2K15.
That sounds like the shit. Big Daddy V. I don't like Big Daddy V, man.
I've just been while we were trying to figure that out. I've been flicking through the Royal Rumble winners, and I think Yokozuna might be the only big hoss that's won it. Yeah, he's the only just big fat hoss that's won it, unless you count like
Jim Duggan.
Jim Duggan or the Undertaker, but they're just like tall dudes. So yeah, it doesn't pay to be a fat dude.
It puts its target on your back, man. Everyone tries to eliminate you.
Yeah, the whole everybody in the ring they get together and they throw you out.
Yeah.
It builds up your elimination totals as well if you're a lower card dude like Test.
Yeah, man.
You know what's bullshit? Braun Strowman, if he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, that's a bit bullshit because he won a 50-man one. What's a 30-man to him?
Yeah, he should be the favourite for next year.
I've already told you, Cena is winning the Rumble and breaking Flair's record at Mania.
I actually hope that kind of happens.
It's happening. I predicted it about in
But I don't want
May.
it. I don't want it to be AJ Styles who he versus.
You don't want it to be?
No, because then it makes AJ look like shit.
Oh, okay.
He could finally vanquish the Beast.
Maybe AJ should lose at the Rumble to like Mr. Kennedy or Test.
No, Mr. Kennedy, Carlito, and MVP are going to come back and form a stable, and one of them will win it.
So what title do you think John Cena will go for?
I'd probably say he would go for the WWE.
But I think that's still going to be the Miz Daniel Bryan match.
Really?
I wouldn't put it past WWE to make
I
that
still
just
have a little bit of hope.
Normal singles non-title match.
I know. Let's have a little bit of hope for that.
I think Ty Dillinger will win it.
Maybe it'll be the ending to the 2K my career. Did we get through that, both of you?
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest. I didn't.
Okay. I don't want to
you wanna know
spoil it
why I
just in
didn't
case
get-
people listening.
You want to know why I didn't get through it?
Why?
Pricey, I don't know how far you've played, but I got up to the part where you're feuding with The Miz for the Intercontinental title, and at some point you decide to create your own belt, and you decide what the stipulation is for your belt, and it had a bunch of options, and I'm like, I'll pick submission match. What the hell?
No, you're an idiot.
And I didn't realize, like, when I picked it, I'm like, my submission stats are really fucking low.
You're an idiot.
And, like,
You're an idiot.
you have a few submission matches before you have your pay-per-view match with The Miz, and I was like, I beat Elias so easily. One of my finishes is a submission. I get to The Miz, and legit, I cannot submit him. His whole body is red. I've done like 5 of my finishes on him. He won't tap out. Does one figure 4, I'm done.
What's your submission thing? Is it buttons or the scroll?
I do buttons because the other mini game, I cannot do it. I suck.
I tried the other mini game. I was the same in the 2K17, or 2K18, sorry, and I found it was actually easier with the stick after I got used to it.
Why would you not choose like the no DQ one, man?
Was it there in your no DQ one?
Oh,
Yeah.
It was like a full scale.
There's a hardcore title one.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a realistic, like, I'm a shoot guy belt.
Or the Brawl for All title.
By the way, I made the belt so fucking ugly. It was literally the ugliest piece of shit you've ever seen. Like, the strap was like pink love hearts and shit. It was fucking gross. But back to Santino's Royal Rumble lottery spectacular gimmick. The next number we have here is 39, which is for the most eliminations. And Santino definitely couldn't have pulled that out of the lottery because they weren't having the 40-man or 50-man Rumble that year. So
Didn't think of that, but you're right.
maybe he just predicted the greatest Royal Rumble. Santino's thinking ahead.
Yeah, just throw all the numbers in there.
But 39 is significant for Shawn Michaels and Kane holding the most eliminations record. But then Santino says there's an asterisk next to Kane because people think he only has 38. And this is a little like a tease for later on. But when he first says this, I'm like, is there actually controversy over one of Kane's eliminations?
No, I knew straight away. I remember that Kane eliminated him. I thought that's what they were going for.
What I thought, like before I realized what they were doing, was because didn't he, in CM Punk's last Royal Rumble, doesn't Kane eliminate him and Kane's not in the Rumble? I'm pretty sure that's what happens, and I was like, oh, are they like, do they count that as an elimination? And they're just like, oh, it should technically be 38 because he wasn't in the match.
Oh, I thought Kane was in that one.
I don't know, that's what I was thinking, but then obviously I was wrong later on when Santino does a great comedy skit.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to watch that Rumble, so I'm not too sure.
So Santino then picks a different number from the tumbler. He then acts awkward and says that number is stupid and grabs another one, which turns out to be the number 2, which is significant for the quickest elimination from the Rumble by the Warlord. Santino then plays up that this record is unbreakable and laughs at the Warlord for it. But then Kane comes in, and this is corporate Kane, and he reminds Santino that Santino actually holds the record. Santino says that he wasn't ready and was ambushed and that it doesn't count, which means Kane only has 38 eliminations, but then Kane demands that Santino shows it.
I agree.
What did you think of this little skit here? I kind of like
It's
it.
fucking hilarious.
This is what it's all about. This is what I wanted the special to be.
That's what we came for.
Yeah,
I wanted 42 minutes of this.
yeah, just Santino being goofy.
Like, it was, instead of having so much emphasis on Royal Rumble history, it should have just been Santino dicking around.
I would have loved that, man. Him going around doing things, saying things to people. Classic Santino.
So they replay Santino getting eliminated by Kane a bunch of times here, and during this I actually noticed something that I'd never noticed before, is that when Santino makes his entrance, there are about 8 people holding up a massive Santino sign in the first few rows. It's kind of like back in the day when you see the really long woo signs. And those people must have been devastated when Santino was eliminated literally immediately. Like, imagine going through all that effort, create a big-ass Santino sign, and he's just thrown out straight away.
Do you want to know my one complaint about Santino holding that record?
What's your complaint?
I don't know who the Warlord is, But the only reason I do know who the Warlord is because of this. And our kids these days, growing up, they'll never know who the Warlord is. It's going to be upsetting.
Yeah, they usually mention like, oh, it used to be held by the Warlord, but now it's held by Santino. Like, at some point, they're probably going to stop saying that, and at that point, nobody's ever going to remember the Warlord.
Sheamus nearly broke that.
Yeah,
At the Greatest Royal Rumble. Or
Did he
was it
really?
the Royal Rumble?
That was the Royal Rumble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Actually, I did a search because I thought it was Mike Kanellis that did it this year. Mike Kanellis almost broke the record in the Greatest Royal Rumble. So
He did, yeah. He got eliminated like straight away. I felt real bad for him.
Yeah, they had Baba Tunde in there for fucking 10 minutes, but they couldn't give Mike Kanellis any time.
Baba
Baba
Tunde and
Tunde.
fake Yokozuna.
Fuck that shit, man. I'm over it.
I
Fuck
really
Saudi
hope the
Arabia.
Saudi princess fell for it and thought that random sumo wrestler was Yokozuna.
You heard it here first. That Saudi prince is a fucking idiot.
By the way, Nat, your pervert fucking microphone shit, it's happening again.
It's not happening on my end. What?
I can hear
You're
it.
cutting out. I can't hear you.
I can hear the weird microphone fucking thing that you
I
had
can't
before.
hear it. I literally can't hear
Can
it.
you hear that, Pricey, or am I going crazy?
I reckon you're going crazy. I just want to point out that I'm the only one that doesn't have audio issues every week, so you're welcome, listeners.
You also don't have anyone using the internet.
That's probably true. But still.
My dad's probably downloading the bloody 3 Back to the Future movies, every single WrestleMania, and bloody the Godfather trilogy while he's sleeping.
Tell him to download the goddamn podcast.
He does. He listens.
Okay, good.
That's why the connection's bad.
He appreciates all my bits.
That's all he
He
listens
said.
to.
He said
Just
I do
listens to you.
good bits.
So Santino says that the footage was CGI and that his elimination was actually fake. Kane then says that he holds all sorts of Royal Rumble records, and that Santino should stick to the authority-approved script for the show. They then go through other Kane records, like him competing in the most Royal Rumbles. I was going to say, why do they mention Zack Ryder here? But Nat's changed that to Brian Major. So,
I had to.
I thought Brandon wrote that. I was like, when did they mention Brian Major? I don't remember this at all.
yeah, they show he's talking about like, he's like, oh, Kane has had this many Royal Rumbles, and that's more than Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and then they're like, and even Zack Ryder.
That's definitely a rib.
I was like, all right.
That's good.
So after that, they then show us every single one of Kane's eliminations in an extremely quick montage that's extremely sped up. Renee Young then presents a segment of partners betraying each other, and big shout out to Shannon Moore and Test, who both get cameos in this little package here. I was really happy to see those boys.
That's your 2 favourites right there.
I didn't even know Shannon Moore appeared in a Royal Rumble. And to be honest, he might not have actually been in that Royal Rumble match. I think he might have just been in there to help Matt Hardy because he was getting double choke slammed with Matt. So, but then we have Santino picking out the final number of the Rumble Lottery Spectacular, and it's number 7 because 7 times at the Royal Rumble the WWE Championship has changed hands. So Randy Orton has the most title matches at the Rumble in history with 4, and then the people who have won the title at the Rumble are Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, John Cena, Edge, and then The Rock for a second time. Santino then promotes the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and that's it for the show. So the aftermath of this illustrious event is that the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view would take place 5 days later on January 25 in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. It is infamous, this Royal Rumble, thanks to Roman Reigns winning and The Rock being booed mercilessly by the crowd as he raised his cousin's hand. Nat likes to refer to The Rock as the Tock instead.
But I'm also the Tick.
Tag team idea right now for a young Australian upcoming duo. One named Tick, one named Tock. Your manager is Nathan Jones.
Would that be like the Toxic Turtles?
I don't know. What that means.
Excuse
God.
you?
Do you guys not know that?
What is that?
You're talking about the Ninja
Somewhat.
Turtles?
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles in wrestling.
I didn't know that was a thing.
There's someone well known that did a Ninja Turtles gimmick in WWF. Lasted like 2 weeks. They were called the Toxic Turtles.
Fucking hell.
They were in full, just onesies of turtles.
That's.
I feel like
wow.
that could be Brody and I. We wear we wear a full bodysuit, like the Conquistadors, but it has numbers and clocks on it. Maybe
I'll do anything. I'll try anything twice.
Oh, mate, it'd be over in Alice Springs.
In Alice Springs, I don't know they have wrestling in Alice Springs.
Yeah, down at the bar.
They will soon.
So that Royal Rumble, the card featured in the pre-show was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd defeating Big E and Kofi Kingston, not Kingston Kofi, via pinfall in 10 minutes 55 seconds. Meltzer gave that 2 3/4 stars. So shout out to that barn burner on the pre-show. We also saw The Ascension defeating Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. The Usos defeating The Miz and Damien Mizdow for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The
3 stars.
Bellas... I know, 3 stars. I was surprised at that. That's got to be the highest rated Sandow match in history. Remember when he left the WWE and people thought he was going to do big things at Impact?
A-Roll Rex.
Now he just fucking failed. Did you guys also know that Jack Swagger is fucking Lucha Underground's world champion?
Yeah, what's his... Oh, I can't remember his name.
It's like Jake Strong or something. It's so generic.
Yeah,
I was on Pro Fight Database today and they list all the world champions in the major promotions and I'm like, who the fuck is Jake Strong? And it's like, oh, it's Jack Swagger.
What a man.
There was also the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, which saw Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena and Seth Rollins, which Dave Meltzer gave 4 3/4 stars, kind of infamously, because a lot of people think that's a 5-star match. Personally, I haven't seen it since then, but at the time I thought it was a 5-star match. It was pretty fucking lit. Do you remember watching that at Stuart's house?
I was going to make mention of that once you finish this card. That was where we watched it, wasn't it? We watched this pay-per-view live.
Yeah, I was at school.
Wait?
I was a little kid.
No, this was Australia Day. For
What?
the people outside of the country. January 26th was when this was for us, and that was a public holiday.
Yeah, actually, that's correct, because I read out the date for the Royal Rumble was the 25th, so it's the 26th for us.
I don't remember watching this live.
You were definitely there.
You were... Nathan was in Philly.
He was watching it live.
Just in amongst the crowd.
And the main event was obviously the Royal Rumble match, which Roman Reigns won, and Darcy won the old Royal Rumble sweep that we did that year. So
He did. What a man.
that sucked.
We've done that twice, and you and I have never won it, Brandon.
Didn't Darcy win both times? I feel like he's won 2 things. It's not fair.
I think you guys owe Darcy a plug.
Oh shit! Do I have to find what I need to plug then?
I'll just make it up.
It's DBH Fitness, I believe.
DDP Fitness, DDP Yoga.
He's got really big muscles.
Go follow him on Instagram at dbh_performance.coach. All your fitness needs and whatnot. If you're listening from the Ukraine, you might not be able to train you in person, but just hit him up anyway. He's got tips and stuff.
Some say he's bigger than Jinder Mahal and Brock Lesnar combined.
He's not on the gas boat. So.
That's all natural. That's just clean eating and lots of water.
Yeah, he drinks a lot of water, that boy.
Jinder Mahal style.
Yeah.
So, having said that, what do we think was the better event? This network special or the 2015 Royal Rumble match?
The special's shorter.
Not by much, surprisingly.
The special is... wait, do you mean the actual Rumble match, not the pay-per-view?
Yeah, the Royal Rumble match.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. No, give me the Rumble match instead.
Really? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember that Rumble at all. So
neither do I. That's what I'm saying. I'll watch it a second time just to try and refresh the memory.
It did have Jack Swagger in it though, Lucha Underground champion. So
it's got Boogeyman in it. It's got all the good guys.
It had DDP in it.
Remember that Bubba Ray was the big pop when he came.
Oh
out.
yeah.
That was the big pop for the year. That was a good one.
So unfortunately, a bit over a year later from this network special on May 6, 2016, Santino would be released from his WWE contract. The WWE was citing his injury reasons as their decision to let him go. And I think Nat just has something to say to really, just show off how much of a cultural person he is.
La vittoria di mia, so long. Yeah. I do like so good.
That was pretty impressive.
Out of all the renditions of Santino's theme song, that was certainly one of them, Nathan.
Hey, that was easily top 5.
Nat, you also taught me that his entrance music isn't just somebody going, "I am Santino," over and over again. 'Cause that's what I thought it was when I was a kid.
Il male. Cozy.
Come ti chiami?
Mi chiamo Wrestle Hunk.
I should have done the intro in Italian.
Fuck, we missed the chance.
Fucking missed opportunity.
Molto bene. Shout out to if we ever get an Italian listener.
Oh yeah, we haven't had any Italian listeners
And
yet.
they come across this.
This will be the one that they listen to. They'll be searching around for Santino.
WWE live in Italia. 2007.
Yeah, once we get one Italian listener, just one, we will review WWE live in Italy.
Just
Somehow we'll make an exclusive poll for that person. Should we review it? Yes or no?
And we'll rig the fuck out of that one. So does anybody have any final thoughts on Santino's Royal Rumble Lottery Spectacular?
Yeah, I did. I said last week I wanted a break from just a pay-per-view or a SmackDown, and change it up with a network special. I think I made the wrong choice in network specials.
Should have chose House Hardy.
No, I thought I said it on air last week, but I don't think I did.
You did. You did say it, but still.
Did I say it on air?
You did, yeah. At the end, I'm pretty sure you talked about House Hardy, and you said it was too good to be reviewed on this podcast.
Oh, I'll reiterate that point. It's way too good to be on this podcast. It deserves, nothing but respect. My thoughts on this was just it would be great for someone that was just getting into wrestling and had no idea about the history of the Royal Rumble. But apart from that, it's just way too in depth. Like what we get now with the little 5-minute promo before the Rumble, that's enough for us. I think.
Yeah. What about you, Nat?
It was actually pretty funny, but I wish it was just more of it.
Yeah, they needed more Santino.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't mind the extended version of the kind of by the numbers thing that they do, but yeah, the best parts of this was Santino doing random fucking skits and shit. So I definitely wanted more of what he did with Kane. So you can't win them all. So hopefully they took the criticism on board for Crazy Stupid Love Show. And Nat's lost his phone. So
I don't want to say it out loud.
Nat's lost his phone, so if anyone has seen it or if anyone can call it,
I'm just sitting on my desk and I can't find it.
Well, that's impressive.
I'll give you a buzz right now. Oh, that's FaceTime. My fault.
Oh, don't you hate that when you accidentally FaceTime them instead of just clicking the normal call button? It's fuck, click, hang up, hang up.
Hang on. I'm calling Nat. Hold on.
It's around somewhere. I can hear him buzzing, but I can't go get it.
Do you want me to hang up?
I know the direction. Thank you.
Right. Jesus.
What direction is it in?
It was on my right-hand side, so I go look over there. I think I threw it when you yelled at me.
When did we yell at you?
When did we yell at you?
When you told me about me mic stuffing up.
Oh, fuck. So, Brandon, you there? Or?
I disconnected and reconnected my microphone because I think
I don't know. This is turning into.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I disconnected and reconnected my microphone because I think I'm the one with the issues, and I don't know what's going on.
What a fucking nightmare this week, man.
La vittoria male.
But I guess that does us for this episode. Thanks for listening to the Wrestle Hunks Podcast. You can find the show on Twitter at Wrestle Hunks Pod. You can also find it on Instagram with the exact same handle. I'm on Twitter as @SourceMarlow. Pricey is on Twitter as @EvilBrodyPrice, and Nat is on Twitter as @NathMarlow. You can also find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, not Google Play, as Pricey reminded me last night. We're not on Google Play because I don't think they let Australians submit to Google Play yet, so bit of racism.
Yep.
Yeah, we're also available on YouTube and Spotify, which has just recently got up and running and is what got us our Ukrainian listeners. So, shout out to Spotify.
Spotify providing the goods.
Thanks, Spotify.
Yes, thanks, Spotify. Also, feel free to rate us on iTunes or whatever podcast app that you listen to. And that means it's time for the part of the podcast where each member suggests a show to cover for next week's episode that will be put up in a poll on Twitter. And hopefully this week there'll be no rigging of the vote. And just because we were at a casino last night, I decided I would throw in Raw Roulette from 2002. Decided to do the first ever Raw Roulette. It also has a TLC match, which TLC is kind of getting close, so kind of gets me in the festive spirit.
Nice.
So, Pricey, what are you throwing up for your suggestion this week?
I think you should just throw the Nat for a hot second because I just found out Nathan pointed out my selections not network.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure you can watch it. So Pricey's suggested the debut episode of Velocity here, but obviously Velocity is not on the network at the moment. But I did during the week. I went through and looked at like all the stuff that's not on the network if it's on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure the debut episode of Velocity is up there.
All right, we'll keep it then.
Yeah, we'll keep it, but it's like a floating option. I might
We have the right to fuck it off.
Right to read the poll.
Yeah, we do that anyway.
So Nat, what is your suggestion for this week?
Sin City SmackDown from the year of I can't find my phone. I think it's 2012 or 11.
It's 2012, I believe, in January of that year. So,
yeah. So,
by the way, I've just got the Velocity debut episode up. It's all good. It's full show, 47 minutes long.
Jesus.
I think also because it's got recaps and stuff in it. I'm not sure if they do it for the premiere, but there's a YouTube channel that I found. I think I subscribed to it that has like uploads all of the Velocity episodes, but they take out the recap stuff, so it's like better to watch. So I don't know whether we want to watch the recap stuff or not. We can decide if we rig the vote enough of Velocity to win. I guess we also need a wild card idea. Does anybody have anything they want to throw up for a wild card here?
That's a good question.
What have we got here? We've got a Raw, a SmackDown, a Velocity. What about, what do you reckon, a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I reckon fuck a pay-per-view off because a pay-per-view will dominate this. It's 3 regular weekly shows and a pay-per-view, so...
An obscure wrestler.
You reckon? Nah, fuck, because what if they win? I'm not ready to do another wrestler, man.
I'm like another couple months away from watching doing another wrestler's career.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, it's like after you're in a Hell in a Cell match, you're never the same after it.
I'm looking through the network, like, I don't know, what's Unfiltered with Renee Young like? Is that a thing that's good? Like,
I have
Go
no
on the
idea.
drive.
That's a
Go on
bunch
the
of different
dog.
things. What have we got? We've got some random shit on here. We can chuck in WWE Crazy Stupid Love Show as a sequel
missed
to
that.
this.
what was that?
We can chuck in WWE Crazy Stupid Love Show.
Fuck it, do it.
Yeah, might as well.
I reckon chuck that in. Okay, we're doing WWE Crazy Stupid Love Show as our other little suggestion here that probably is not going to win because we're not rigging the vote this week.
Yeah, I don't care if that wins.
So I guess with the poll decided, that basically does us. Do either of you boys have anything to say before we hit the road here?
I'll usually mention like a match to watch or something, and I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling this week. So Matt Riddle's debut probably because they chant bro a lot.
What about you?
Bro. I was telling Price yesterday that I managed to watch 205 Live while having a shower.
It's impressive.
I watch wrestling when I'm having a shower sometimes.
Did you watch the whole show in the shower?
No. I watched the first half of the show and then I watched the main event in the shower.
Alright.
And I know you find that weird, but you get Sometimes I'll just chuck in a random match, have it in the background, washing your hair, you're having a decent long shower.
Just really, just enjoying yourself, treating yourself.
Getting a good lather on. Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to watch? Making a Murderer? I can't even hear it. So I might as well just watch some good wrestling.
What was the main event? I can't remember.
It was Tony Nese, is that his name? The big jacked up dude?
Yeah, Premier Athlete.
Versus Mustafa Ali.
Oh,
what a match.
I love Mustafa Ali.
It was a pretty decent match. I had a fucking decent shower. Pretty sure it was like 20 minutes.
Had a decent shower.
Don't tell the water police.
Bro, we're in a drought. You only have to have a 3-minute shower.
Yeah, stick a bucket in your shower as well. Collect that water.
Sorry, we're not watching WWE Raw matches. They only go for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All I want to say is just go watch the replay of the Melbourne Cup.
One of them died.
Wait, what?
One of the horses died.
Yeah, one of the horses fell down, man.
What? Like it died like mid-race?
Yeah.
No. Broke its shoulder and then it was carried off and then euthanized.
That's fucking sad.
Yeah. It is.
Always end the show on a positive note.
Why is that a thing that happened? Fuck the Melbourne Cup.
It's happened I think it's happened 5 times since 2013.
Hey, we can all bet on a lot of different things.
I don't bet on horses. I bet on the darts from Ukraine.
Yeah, but we can bet on like The Bachelor and stuff. Like we don't need horse racing.
Yeah, and we can bet on the G-grade soccer in Brazil.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Well, I guess that's all for this week then. Stay hunky.
Fuck, I hope I find my phone.